Hello, welcome. I have a potential Sibear Incarnon build going on with melee Careen. So the Incarnon perks you want to use with your Sibear Incarnon is going to be Master Shatter for extra combo, Orokin Reach, and Mounting Avalanche. So usually builds with heavy attacks like this build are going to use Absolute Valor, or maybe even this Red Right Hand. But we're going to be using Mounting Avalanche for the initial combo. If you don't have a Riven with initial combo, you can just go ahead and go straight to Absolute Valor for the direct damage increase for hitting orange and maybe even red crits. But this is not a crit focus build. This is actually focused on blast, but we'll get to that later. Let's clarify on how melee Careen works. Make sure you have the max rank of this arcane, because it just says on roll freeze enemies in X radius. Okay, this is very misleading. If you do have rank 1 of this arcane, actually let me just where's Careen? Right here. If I break down this and let's just say we do rank 1. Sorry, I forgot to equip this, and if we roll against an enemy, spotted enemies, they will only have around like 5 to 6 blast procs. Not blast, sorry, cold procs. And frozen enemies are considered to only have 10 cold procs. Only 6. So actually, you need to have the max rank of this arcane in order to actually freeze them, because let's showcase this for a second. On this heavy gunner, we are going to be doing 77 damage. With melee Careen, you would multiply that by 1.5 times for rank 1, which would be 115. But we still do 77. That means that 6 cold procs are not enough to be considered frozen. So there is, the description for melee Careen is indeed misleading. Let's upgrade this again. Now let's try it again. This time it's 2.5 times. So 77 times 2.5 is 192. 77, 192. There we go, it's working as intended. So for this build I will be using Blast, as this does not work well on single target, as we will demonstrate. This is more of like a mini crowd clearing, right? Think of it as like acid shells. We kill an enemy to kill other enemies. Let's put steel here. Okay, so this is going to be your 2 Forma non-Riven setup with Blast. We use Galvanized Reflex and Corrupt Charge, plus Mounting Avalanche for initial combo. All the combo added up will be 9 times combo. Amalgam Organ Shatter for heavy attack wind-up speed and crit damage, critical chance. Prime Pressure Point for damage, Weeping Wounds, so we can get those blast procs going. Even though we do get 50% status chance from heavy attacks, more status will bring us up to 100% status chance, and some more. Blast for blast. Let's showcase this. So the playstyle you're going to be doing is just roll the combo. Once you have the combo, heavy attack. So now once you have the combo stacked up, all it is just roll, heavy attack, roll, heavy attack, roll, heavy attack. As you can see, single target is a bit lacking. So you have 2 options for this. Either just make your setup so strong that it just one-shots it, or pull out your gun and delete it. You can also just prime tanky enemies. So let's just simulate this. I do have an epitaph. We can just prime them right here. Gotcha. There we go. Kill. Prime. Kill. That was not a crit. So you may notice that we are lacking crit on this build, and you can just compensate that with either a Riven or Warframe buffs. So if you do have a Riven that does have initial combo and crit chance, that would be pretty good, because we could just combine both of these mods into one and add in, let's say, melee elementalist. Oh sorry, let's go galvanized, as this does increase status chance and possibly reduce the need of weeping wounds once stacked up. Let's simulate the crit chance with Kullervo, and let's just do an empty build on him so that we just get 200% crit chance, nothing more, nothing less. Actually, hold up, let's run power donation so we can actually lower this even more. Power donation. So we are adding 140% crit chance. That is consistent orange crits, I would say. Yeah. Alright. Let's get the battle group out and test this. As you can see, adding crit does so much more. And if you add roar on top of this, you will have a pretty strong build. And maybe if your Riven is just good enough that you don't need this initial combo, you could just go straight to Absolute Valor and shred with your crit chance Riven. Let's show this in an actual setting though. Back to steel. Wrong one. Weeping wounds, Northern, yeah. If you want to, you can run Duriga for priming. But I'm not going to be doing that. I have no companion, as you can see. Let me just put in the build where I can survive. Nope.
Their rage is vehement, their focus impressive. Give them all warriors' death.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
2 for survivability, and then stack up combo. Alright, now let's roll, heavy attack, roll, heavy attack, and this is the build. Go into a group of enemies, try to heavy attack multiple of them so you can get multiple blast procs, and just delete that group of enemies. How sweet is that? Work on this, so Rats will advance now.
Life support incoming.
We get to some insane numbers. Alright, I think that's enough for the showcase. If you have any comments, please let me know how I can improve this build and see what other weapons you can apply this to. Alright, thank you.